Hey.
Why were you talking to Janice Ian?
I don't know. I mean, she's so weird. She just, came up to me and started talking to me about crack.
She's so pathetic. Let me tell you something about Janice Ian. We were best friends in middle school. I know, right? It's so embarrassing. Whatever. So then in 8th grade, I started going out with my first boyfriend, Kyle, who was totally gorgeous, but then he moved to Indiana. And Janice was like weirdly jealous of him. Like if I would blow her off to hang out with Kyle, she'd be like, "Why didn't you call me back?" And I'd be like, "Why are you so obsessed with me?" So then for my birthday party, which was an all-girls pool party, I was like, "Janice, I can't invite you because I think you're a lesbian." I mean, I couldn't have a lesbian at my party. There are gonna be girls there in their bathing suits. I mean, right? She was a lesbian. So then her mom called my mom and started yelling at her. It was so. And then she dropped out of school because no one would talk to her. When she came back in the fall for high school, all of her hair was cut off and she was totally weird, and now I guess she's on crack.
Ah, Mean Girls. A millennial femme classic. And a personal problematic fave. First time I watched this scene, I knew Regina was being a hateful bitch. When Janice called her a scum-sucking road whore at the beginning of the film, I cackled. But this scene tells us exactly why Janice felt that way. However, as we only experience Regina and Janice through Katie's eyes, it's hard to know the truth of what happened between them. And it made me wonder for the rest of the movie, well, is Janice a lesbian? No, she was saying she was Lebanese. That's the joke. But look at the social cost that Janice paid because Regina George never heard of Lebanon. Disavowed by her middle school best friend, who incorrectly told everyone that she was a lesbian, and was ostracized for it. This isolation resulted in Janice having something of a breakdown, then adopting a more alternative aesthetic, which solidified her spot on the fringes of the social hierarchy. Actually, maybe the fits helped the lesbian accusations just a little bit. Caitlin Ryan ended up in a similar situation in Degrassi Junior High's first foray into discussions of queer identity. Caitlin's friend, Kathleen, begins spreading rumors that Ms. Avery, Caitlin's favorite teacher, is a lesbian. Over the course of the episode, this accusation manifests itself in an identity crisis for Caitlin. Kathleen's evidence of her claims is flimsy at best. Miss Avery has no boyfriend or husband that Kathleen has seen. Miss Avery lives with a woman who drops her off at work, and this must be her lover. Miss Avery kissed the woman on the cheek in parting when dropped off at work. Whenever someone challenges Kathleen, the response is along the lines of, "Why? Are you a leslie too?" This is a terrible thought process as well. I mean, they're not saying you're one of them yet, so you should be okay with us spreading this rumor. Because they're all children and capable of logically debating the topic or debunking the claim, Susie and Caitlin internalize the accusation, and Caitlin's dreams become more pointed and worrisome to her. Does liking someone who is a lesbian change you or who you are?
What do? I can't help those dreams. Supposing I am a lesbian, does that mean I won't have any friends? Will everyone talk and whisper behind my back? Will they all hate me? Even Susie? I really like Miss Avery. Is that wrong? Just don't want to be different.
Eventually, because she defends Miss Avery too much, Kathleen begins saying that Caitlin herself is also a lesbian. Kathleen, just like Regina, is perpetuating something called the recruitment hypothesis, also known as homosexual seduction. This is a pseudoscientific conspiracy theory which suggests homosexuality is spread by grooming or prolonged contact with queer people. Kathleen is seen wielding her poisoned tongue on multiple occasions. She is obviously a character meant to reflect how internal biases can manifest in an effort to exercise superiority over others. So, if Miss Avery is a lesbian, would liking Miss Avery or defending her from rumors make Caitlin a lesbian too? Are straight people allowed to defend lesbians? When Degrassi Junior High was airing, there was a companion show called Degrassi Talks. The show featured the actors speaking with real teens about the issues presented in DJH to delve into how their lives are touched by the subject matter.
On the show, my character was troubled by her new feelings of sexuality. When we filmed that episode, I had no idea how close to home it was hitting, and that my own sister was dealing with those very questions. So Karen, tell me, when you saw the episode that I did about homosexuality, how did you feel when you saw that, when you watched that?
Well, I have to admit, it was really hard for me because what I saw you doing on TV was everything that I was feeling at the time. I mean, I had a crush on my high school teacher the same way that you seemed to, or you were reacting to this teacher who everyone was rumoring to be gay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't quite know how to deal with it. Part of me wanted to deny that I was having those feelings, and the other part of me felt that I had to admit to it.
Did you feel pressure to come out before?
No, I felt pressure to deny it for a long time. No one made me feel that it was okay to be gay, especially in high school. So you really feel at odds with it. It was much easier to come out after I was in high school, so I really sympathize with, you know, what people go through when they're in high school, and there's no one to turn to at all.
There were a couple of people who noted that homophobia is very likely rooted in ignorance, and fear born of that ignorance. To that point, Miss Avery has a conversation with Caitlin dispelling the rumors. Honestly, the discussion was a little disappointing in the end. Not only doesn't Miss Avery owe anyone, let alone her student, an explanation here, but the chat completely erases the possibility of bisexuality. And, as Kathleen was the source of the rumors, she should have been present for the conversation as well. She was the one with all the flawed evidence that proved her sensationalized lie. But at least Miss Avery reassured Caitlin, like Melanie, our drug and chip-obsessed icon, that there's nothing wrong with being gay, and that even if either of them were, it wouldn't be an indictment on their character. That Caitlin's dreams were probably just her teenage hormones reacting like they do for most kids her age. So, does knowing a lesbian change who you are? No, obviously. How you treat them after learning they are says everything, though. I do applaud Degrassi for daring to tread this territory. It was incendiary then, and it's incendiary now. There are Kathleens everywhere, spreading vitriol against people who are simply living their lives. In the end, the kids only needed to learn the most important lesson of all. That, rather than rumor mongering, a better use of time might be to live and let live, and mind the business that pays you. I'm sorry, I thought you were gay is wild though. Shoo, I'm at the end of this video, and the only lesbian was the sister of the girl who played a girl who thought she might be one on TV.
I don't really mind Clayton being homosexual. I just don't like him dating men. There must be homosexuals who date women.
Yeah, they're called lesbians.